statistics where we had like a day and a half of inventory only. Meaning this stuff was turning like crazy. The trucks would come in, we'd put it away in the warehouse. Virtually the next day or 2 days later, those same parts that we're putting away, we're picking, putting on specialized carts, taking them over to the production plant and putting them line side. And they have to, what was the term we used to use? JIS, just in sequence. Because when you were picking those parts, you had to pick them in the order that they're going to go on to the new car that's going down the line. So the production worker looks at spot A on the cart, pulls that part off, snaps it on the car. Then he goes to spot B, that's the next one that goes on, and so on, all the way through these cars. So it's very complex from that because of the speed that's involved. However, it's a more limited number of SKUs, a limited number of parts than what Neovia has to deal with all the parts that are being used for all these different model years.
Yeah, makes sense. I think we covered a lot of ground. Let me ask a couple of follow-ups. I guess the first question that came to mind, when Goldman and the other sponsor, Roan, were doing due diligence, how could they have missed the contract cliff? It seems just so weird to me. Because
they didn't miss it.
It appears that the moment Platinum sold the company, everything started going, the other way, basically.
Yeah, Platinum had a gift for timing, I guess.
Yeah.
But, the biggest one, and it's widely known, is General Motors Europe, right? So that was the biggest chunk. Go ahead.
I guess that was one of the questions I wanted to follow up on afterwards. But you were talking about that the demand planning forecasting system is sort of a key competitive advantage, and then customers can't really drop Neovia for this reason. But at the same time, General Motors managed to, right? So sort of how does that tie in?
Well, there was a political reason for the General Motors thing, and they weren't just dropping us for dissatisfaction. As a matter of fact, going up into, probably all the way through 14, we were still optimistic that General Motors was going to stay with us.
Yeah.
And then the complex system or political situation in Germany where, production was going down. They were having to get rid of some production workers because they just didn't have the demand for the cars. The only thing they could do was release the production workers. They'd be very unpopular if it just came out that General Motors slashed thousands of workers. So what they did is they took the Neovia workers, brought them back on their payroll, and so it's 1,000 people or whatever it was get added back to their payroll while they cut the production workforce. So it didn't look as bad in total
really?
when General Motors. Yeah, so it was really politically motivated. So they weren't. I can remember telling the interested parties in 2014 during the due diligence process and the marketing process that we were very optimistic about the General Motors situation. In fact, there were a couple of places where we even increased some of the services offered and increased some of the business that we got with them. So it was looking good. So that one fell. But then there were some other ones, and it turns out, the biggest competitor Neovia ever had wasn't really, Menlo or Siva or New Breed or any of these other guys. It was always the customer themselves. Because in a lot of cases, they just, maybe they had a messy parts operation to begin with. They say, help, we need help, Neovia, please, or Caterpillar Logistics back in the day. Come take this over for us, get this straightened out for us. So anyway, they get a smooth running parts operation, and then they're, 5 years down the line, this is running very well. They feel more comfortable to take it back in-house, even without the system, and they try to limp along with it. And you also have to keep in mind that in some cases, we were actually running the customer system as opposed to using our own system. So if you look at, Neovia's share, of the business that's on their system, it's probably somewhere, 55, 60% of the customers were actually, we were using our own system to service them.